Alright, you bastards, here is the final Mass Effect Andromeda build. The profile is called the Explorer and it's really fun to play. I have to admit, you can build this in a million of ways and it's still going to be OP, because when you combine all three trees, you're bound to be OP. This is my take on it. It's a completely stupid, simple build that works fantastically and that is a lot of fun. There are probably a lot more better builds, but trust me, if you do it like I did in this video, you're going to have tons of fun. Before we start, I need to address another issue. I wasn't able to come up with the best assault rifle. Assault rifles are the most underwhelming weapons in the game. They are good on normal difficulty, no problem, but when you switch to hardcore and insanity, their damage is simply too weak. No matter what I tried sound plus plasma seeking bolts so that I hit every shot, didn't work, too weak. I tried PO rifle with electric conduit and it's weaker than Equalizer SMG that I did with electric conduit as well. I tried to implement plasma charge system with some rifles, didn't work as well. Simply too weak. I don't know why, maybe you guys have a better solution, but on higher difficulties I haven't been able to come up with a good solution. Maybe you can point me in the right direction here, because I really don't know what to do about that. But either way, let's continue with this build. The point of this build is to be the ultimate melee build. We're going to do a lot of damage with melee attacks and with shotgun. That is also used from melee range or at least close combat range. And these two correlate together and they buff each other's attacks, and with other skills that I'm going to implement in the build, it's going to be extremely easy to go in and out without any issues whatsoever. Under profiles, this is the one that we want. It gives us weapon damage, that's good for our shotgun, damage resistance, good for our survivability, tech recharge speed, good for the cloak that I'm using, biotic power damage, also good for the charge, 35% power restoration and defense, good for some passive skills that regenerate our shields and buff our defense. And we also get the biotic blink as an evade move, which is awesome. From the combat tree, we are going to use the best possible skill from the combat tree. That's called turbocharge. It makes any weapon powerful, and with the best weapons possible, you're going to have no trouble killing stuff when you have to rely on your shotgun instead of your melee attack. For the last one, go with plus 80% clip size bonus. It's really important. This will make heavy hitting weapons that we want to use with turbocharge more powerful, because you don't need to reload them constantly. For the shotgun's passive, go for the last one. That's the important one, because when you hit someone with shotgun, you will then have a melee damage boost of 40% for 3 seconds. Then when you hit someone with shotgun, with melee, then you have a shotgun damage boost of 25%. So you can constantly change these two. You shoot a shotgun, you hit something with melee attack. You shoot shotgun, melee attack, you're constantly buffed. As for the combat fitness, go for whatever you want here. I don't think there's anything relevant here. For the combat tools, I would suggest for melee bonuses at the rank 6 and at the rank 5 jump melee damage as well, and evasion is also alright, but as I said, you can combine this with what you want. It's not that relevant. This build can be done in so many ways that I don't think you can go wrong. I really don't think. Alright, now that we've covered the combat, let's go to biotics. Here I'm going to use charge. And with charge you go whatever you want, but for rank 6 you use Bastion. Bastion makes you practically impossible to kill. Because every time you use a charge, which is on insanely low cooldown, with the build I have, you will have plus 50% shields restored and plus 35% damage. And also you get from that Explorer profile perk plus power restoration and defense, which directly correlates with this skill, because this gives you also damage resistance. But with that power restoration and defense, you will restore more shields and you will get more defense from it. For the barrier, go saving barrier. As always, it's one of the best skills in the game, you know, I always say that. For offensive biotics, I suggest Biotic Warrior in the end. For rank 5, I think it would be best if you go for exploitation other than detonation. I think I messed that one up, because this gives you defense debuff from biotic effects. Increases damage from all sources against enemies suffering from a biotic, from the ongoing effects of the user's biotic power. Does that mean, is it damage over time, or is it if you hit something with a biotic power and then you have the bonus? The debuff bonus. I don't know. I honestly don't know. Some of these things lack proper explanation. Alright, as for the text tree, go for the tactical cloak. Damage bonus, this is fixed. This needs to be like this. Now for the duration or speed, up to you. Combat cloak is a must as well. Combat cloak gives you, after you use the first attack from the invisibility, 2 more seconds of invisibility, and you keep the buffs that you gain from that invisibility. So you can do shotgun attack and a melee attack in those 2 seconds, which is devastating in this combination that we're doing here. You can go for team support, you don't have to. Really, it's a good passive tree, but definitely go for tech, other tech passives. Auxiliary and the tech offensive, something like that. This is when you have more points than you need, then you go for team support. That's my recommendation here. As for the offensive tech tree, rank 4 go whatever you want. Rank 5 you can go for the second one because we don't have any tech detonators here. And for rank 6, weapon damage bonus, I think it's more useful for this build than elemental defense debuff. Unless you're using a lot of consumables, consumable ammo, then maybe elemental defense debuff would be a lot better solution. As for the auxiliary systems, I always go for plus 100% combo priming rate. Although we are not doing combos, we might be able to do some when we use cryo or incendiary ammo, and that means that plus 100% combo priming rate will make these consumables more effective for priming the enemies. And then we use charge and it will detonate, if you want to focus on that. I even don't need more weapon weight capacity, that's why I went with rank 4. And for the last one, go whatever you want. Same goes for the 5th one as well. Now for the loadout. Here you just need a shotgun, that's it. As for the melee weapon, go for whatever you want. I like Asari sword and Omni tool, but it's up to you really. For armor, I went with Hyper Guardian armor because it gives us a lot of survivability and plus melee damage as well. I also put on the chest piece fusion mode of rapid deployment, which gives us plus 50% all power recharge speed, so we will constantly have powers at our disposal, which is huge, really huge. Doesn't matter, minus 50% weapon damage, we negate that with those buffs that we have. If you don't want this, go for a fusion mode of shielding. That one is also very, very good. Alright, now let's go to testing. Well, here we go. You can always start the fight with charge, then you can either shoot an enemy or use a melee attack that will immediately start boosting your other attack from a shotgun or melee, depending what you started with. Afterwards, you can use cloak to become invisible and save yourself if you're in trouble, but you shouldn't be. With all the passive benefits that restore your shields and buff your defense, you shouldn't be in trouble. Then you can, from cloak, attack for a massive damage and continue attacking with the shotgun for those 2 seconds. Or the other way around, doesn't matter, you can constantly alternate between melee attack and a shotgun attack. And also, before you engage in combat, I suggest use turbocharge. That will make things a lot easier. because when you will be able to put a lot more shots in those 2 seconds that you have after you exit the cloak. And that's basically it. As I said, it's a simple yet very effective build that is really fun to play. You're constantly be up in opponents' faces and cutting their heads clean off. Really nothing more to say about it. You can also use consumable ammo and finish off with a charge as a detonator. Up to you. You have plenty of options with this build. It seems so simple, but when you see it in action, when you see how many options you have, it's not that simple in the end. It's simple to play, but then you start thinking about all the options and holy shit, this is actually deep. Yeah, it is. Well guys, that's it. I'll see if I do any more videos on Mass Effect Andromeda. I'm honestly tired of this game and I need a break to start off Persona 5 when it comes out. I'm not sure if I will get some videos out by then. If I manage to come up with best assault rifle solution, it's going to be from your comments mostly, because I have no clue how to build a good assault rifle for higher difficulties. And that would be the last video, if not this one. Thanks for watching, lads. It's been a pleasure communicating with you on these Mass Effect videos. 95% of the comments were really positive, and I love the feedback, and I love communicating with nice, smart people that are willing to listen and willing to interact in a friendly manner. That means a lot to me, and I'll see you soon.
Last of them. Let's find that drive core.